Guy hides poor fiancée from rich parents, is shocked when he sees her in their house doing the most unexpected thing. Afraid of heartbreak, a wealthy man decides not to tell his rich parents about his poor fiancée until things spiral out of his control. He arrives at their house one day, only to find her working as a maid. The rustling of the autumn leaves under their feet while walking in the park, the days of desperate waiting to see each other, and the countless ups and downs they'd went through together when they feared it wouldn't work. Walter recalled those times as he ran his fingers over his engagement ring. Her name was Laura, the girl who stole his heart. As cliché as it may sound, Walter and Laura were in love, undying love. Like every other couple, they dreamed of having a loving home and a small tribe of kids running around the house one day. But there was a problem, a big one. Walter's parents. Catherine and Joseph, one of the town's wealthiest couples, wanted their son to marry someone of their status and wealth. They had no idea their son had fallen for a poor girl who worked at a housekeeping agency. Walter and Laura's first meeting had been a strange one. They'd met at a grocery store. He had run out of peanut butter, and she was the one who grabbed the last one on the shelf. "Please let me have it," he cried as she dropped it in her cart. She turned around to face him and was confused. "What?" "I can't miss having that for breakfast, and I'm late for a meeting." "Look, I'll pay you twice its price." "That? The peanut butter." She chuckled as she looked at him from head to toe. The sight of a man in a tuxedo buying bread and peanut butter was a rare one. She gave him the jar and said, "There you go, Mr. Peanut Butter. It's ock. I don't have it for breakfast." A week later, they ran into each other again at the grocery store, and thus their love story began. Soon after, Walter proposed to Laura, and they made promises of growing older together. But they were worried Walter's parents wouldn't accept their relationship. "We just won't tell them, Laura," Walter said. "That would be a disaster." "They're your parents, Walter," she said. "You're lucky to have them. It's just unfair that God took away mine so soon. We need to sort this out. I want them to be there for our wedding. I know nothing about them because you never mentioned them." "I don't know, babe," he said, frustrated. "I don't know what to do." "We'll figure this out together, all right?" she said gently. "They won't hate us, I know." "Maybe they will," he said. "Let's avoid telling them anytime soon." Walter was adamant about not telling his parents about the relationship because he knew they wouldn't be happy about it. But the cat was out of the bag once he went to their house for a regular dinner. They noticed the ring on his ring finger, but said nothing. However, as Walter passed by their room after dinner, he heard whispers and stopped to overhear them discussing him. "That is an engagement ring, darling," Catherine told Joseph sternly. "He got engaged and didn't bother to tell us. Do you know why? He has met someone we won't approve of. I'm positive about it. I'm his mother. Or is our son married?" "What nonsense." Joseph brushed it off. "He won't marry anyone like that. He's my blood. Any random girl from the streets isn't welcome in this house." After that night, Walter was glad he didn't mention Laura to his parents. He was clueless about what was brewing in his parents' minds. A week later, Walter received an invitation from his parents. It was Joseph's 50th anniversary as the company's director, and there was a grand celebration at their home. All employees, as well as friends and family, were sent invitations, so Walter received one as well. Much like his successful father, Walter was a wealthy and successful businessman, and he was looking forward to the event. For the important night, he wore one of his favorite suits, which Joseph had brought from France and arrived on time. "Son, you're here." Joseph received him at the entrance and gave him a warm hug. Then his mother kissed him on the cheek. "Come on in, honey. You look amazing." As Walter joined the party, his mother started introducing him to the daughters of their rich business friends, even though he had no interest in it. "Mom, please excuse me." He somehow saved himself from the forced meetings and headed to the wine counter. Suddenly, he noticed something and stopped dead. Walter saw Laura dressed in a maid's uniform serving snacks to guests. He didn't like how some of the men were looking at her. "Laura!" he yelled as he dashed over to her and grabbed her arm. "What exactly is all of this? Why are you here? Walter, what are you doing here?" "This is my party, Laura. This is my parents' house," he said angrily. "I had no idea. I was called here for the job. Hey, Walter, are you ok?" Before Laura could finish what she was saying, Walter's condition worsened. Soon he was on the floor, shaking from an epileptic seizure, and a loud gasp rang out in the room. "Walter!" His parents cried and ran over to him. "What happened to our son?" "Oh no, honey," Catherine said in tears. "He's got a seizure. I thought he was doing ok." "He'll be fine," said Laura, typing 911 on the phone. "It hasn't happened in a while. I'll call the paramedics just to be safe. He will be fine. Don't worry." Laura didn't leave Walter's side until he was fine, whereas the other rich girls were disgusted to approach him when he needed assistance. "You were trying to ruin my daughter's life with that crazy son of yours," exclaimed one of the parents. "Jesus! Thank God my daughter isn't going to marry that maniac." At that point, Catherine and Joseph lost their cool. They were about to give them a stern reply when Laura intervened. "Excuse me," she said. "Who gave you the right to say such a thing about him? He's not insane, sir. You certainly are. Get your facts straight. It's a medical condition. You're far too rude for your own good. A maid will teach me about a goddamn medical condition." Yelled the rich man. "Joseph," he said to Walter's father, "you should hire better people. Get her out of here." "Or maybe I should find better friends," said Joseph calmly. "She is not just a staff member. She is our daughter-in-law. She is my family. And those who insult my family are not welcome here. Guards, please escort such people out." That night made Walter's parents have a change of heart. They realized love mattered over money and decided to embrace Laura. "Thank you, sweetheart," said Catherine, hugging her. "What you did for Walter. We're sorry for whatever happened. We did this on purpose. We wanted to show Walter that a girl from a good family would be the best match for him, so we planned everything. We found out about your housekeeping agency, and I'm sorry. Would you forgive us?" Laura had a big heart, so she decided to forgive Walter's parents. On one condition, she said as she hugged Catherine back, "Can I call you Mom? I never had one and would love to have you as my mother. Please." "You can," whispered Catherine. "You certainly can. Oh, I was so wrong to think money defined a person." 6 months later, Laura and Walter had a big fat happy wedding, and Laura walked down the aisle with Walter's dad. A year after that, good news followed. Catherine and Joseph received 2 t-shirts as Christmas presents, which read, "Best Grandparents." And Laura and Walter welcomed twin baby girls 9 months after that. What can we learn from this story? Love and care build a family, not money. When Walter had a seizure and everyone else at the party stood there doing nothing, Laura jumped in to aid him, which showed how much she cared for him. She deserved to be a part of his family. Instead of dismissing your children's choices, try to respect them. In the end, Walter's parents had a change of heart, and they embraced Laura, an ordinary girl from a humble background who truly loved their son.